Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grounded Football Tottenham on the First 11 channel. Don't forget, you can catch us YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you want for all the shows that you want to watch. Same panel as usual. My trusted three. Jacob, how are you, mate?
All good, thank you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Cheers, bud. Not bad. Alan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Bit boring during this international break. Hopefully next weekend we can get back to it.
Yeah, exactly. Mark, how you doing, mate? You're good?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yourself? Yeah, like Alan, bit bored. No Spurs, but at least the transfer window's closed now, isn't it?
Yeah, there's always
we can concentrate on football now.
Yeah, we don't got to worry about signings now. Well, I'll get straight into that, Mark. I'll go straight to you with it. What are you rating this transfer window? Are you rating the signings and outgoings?
Yeah, I think it's about a 7 out of 10, if I'm honest. I think the big thing, Harry Kane staying. So for us, I think that's the crown jewel. I think Romero, for me, could be a great signing. I've seen him a couple of times. I liked his second performance where he was coming out a little bit more. I'll go back to last week. The only thing I think, and why it's only a 7, is no creative midfielder. And I think now's the time. We've kept Ndombele, so let's see if he can get a tune out of him. I think he could be a great player. And so I think a 7 out of 10 for me at the moment.
Alan, what about you? What are you rating it with this transfer window?
The more I thought about it, the lower the rating's gone for several reasons. So hear me out. The lower it's gone. So no creative midfielder, no backup striker. For me, we need another central defender because although they've kept clean sheets at the moment, it's not going to last. We know what they're like. Maybe wrong. Nuno might have sorted them out to be a really good defensive partnership. Don't see it. For me, keeping Ndombele is a mistake. Should have got rid of him. Really bad mentality. Weak-minded. Great footballer, great ability, but we just need to get more of them people out of the club. And Kane staying obviously is a bonus, but then I think he'll be a professional, so that for me isn't a worry. Although the way he handled himself in parts of that, wasn't great, but I think he'll have a decent season. But it seems more like a window for the future than it is for now. So for me, I think we'll be around 6th or 7th. Like for me, a high for this, like a good season would be 5th. I still expect it to be around 6th or 7th. I know it started well, but there's still frailties there that haven't been addressed.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Jacob, what about you? Is there anyone you would have pushed the boat out for a bit more and actually gone the full mile to get him in?
There's loads, mate. But it's like we all know what it is. What all Spurs fans forget is that Daniel Levy is tight. So as much as we want a creative midfielder, it's like we've got players like Lo Celso, we've got Dele Alli, Ndombele as well. He'll be looking at that thinking, between the three of those, I've spent a lot of money. And on top of that, I could have got a lot of money back. So I don't think Nuno would have got the creative midfielder that we wanted, surely for the fact that Daniel Levy's looking at 3 attacking midfielders that we spent quite a lot of money on. So when I think about it logically, if you'd asked me at the end of the transfer window the other day, I would have probably give it a 5. But when I think about it logically, with the players that we've got rid of, with the players that we've got that Nuno might be able to get a better tune out of with the 3 that I just said, and keeping Harry Kane, I'll give it a 7. It's not that bad. Ryan Gill, I'd never heard of him, and he started off well. I'm not going to say that he's going to be a world beater because nobody knows, but I'd give it a 7. You can't complain. I know in two of the 3 games we've played terrible, but how many times have we played terrible in games and always lost? So for us to play crap twice and play well once and be top of the league, and in the transfer window, I agree with Adam and Mark to a sense. We could have brought another centre half in, but the way Dyer and Sanchez are playing, if Romero was going to take someone's place now, who would they take? I couldn't choose, whereas I could have told you straight away at the beginning of the season, but I can't even think who I'll take out right now. If anything, Romero's got to wait. So I'll say a 7. I'll say a 7 because you see with me, Romero. Yeah, this is the thing with Tottenham fans. It's like everyone's going Romero, and everyone's going off the fact that we spent 55 million. But let's be honest, boys. Have any of you watched Romero? Have any of you watched him play?
I have, yes.
Yeah, I've watched. That's what I'm saying. Oh no, I have. I've watched that. I watched him against Juventus, Atalanta, and he was brilliant. I've watched him 4 times, and I thought, yeah, he's all right. But most of the Tottenham fans are like, yeah, just thinking that he's going to be the next Ledley King. But then I bet you 3/4 of them have never seen him play just because he was the best defender in Italy that they think he has got the right. And because we spent 55 million, you'd think so. But Dyer and Sanchez really haven't done anything wrong. So why are you going to take one of them out?
So, well, I agree with that to a point that they haven't done anything wrong. But this has been all right so far to the start of the season. But let's not forget the shambles that was last season for the majority of last season.
No, I agree. Fully agree.
Defender, watching the balls go over their heads, musical statues rather than defending. There's a lot of so I'm expecting it to go wrong, and knowing us, it's going to come massively wrong against both Chelsea and Arsenal. I can just see it straight away. It's a typical Spurs thing. We'll probably beat Palace and just get whooped by both of them because it's an Arsenal brand. As much as I hate to see that, that's just how I see it happening. So for me, that's a really weak area still. Although Dyer and Sanchez have started well, and when you got Romero, for me, it's still a bit weak of an area. And
could I ask you a question?
Yeah, can I just say something?
Yeah. If I could ask a question, sorry, I know it's not my show, but imagine, you know, Nuno at Wolves. He used to play a back three, and then he'd have everyone else pretty much attacking, wouldn't he? So imagine Nuno drafted Romero in as the sort of sweeper, and then had Eric Dyer one side and Sanchez the other side. So if they continued their form, but then you just had Romero in there to keep it sweet, do you think that'd be a bit better? Because we all know that 3 bad defenders is better than 2 bad defenders. So would you think that having Romero's in as a sweeper and having them to, if they make a mistake, Romero sweeps up, and Nuno loves it at 3 at the back.
Nuno does love 3 at the back. I'm not entirely sure how he's going to set out the team because we've not seen any evidence of him going to 3 at the back at the moment. That could change. I'm not saying that might change going forward, but for me, I just see it as a problem area still that needs to be sorted. Also, going back to your previous point about the no attacking midfielder, Dele Alli's not an attacking midfielder, and Dembele's not an attacking midfielder, and Lo Celso, I don't know what position. I don't know what Lo Celso's position is. For me, that is still an area that could have been improved. We haven't improved since Eriksen asked Kane to do a 2-man job, and that's where problems came with our team. So, like I said, we've got some good young talent in, but it's still not a great window for me. Thinking about it in long term.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. If you know what I mean, it's like it's a 7 because I'm trying to be positive. If I was being realistic, it's a 6.
Mark, what did you have to say, mate?
Yeah, I have to disagree a little bit there with Alan. I know last year we saw Dyer and Sanchez. There was a mistake in them every now and then, or more now than then. However, I just think the guys are fitter this year. And I like to use the old adage where De Bruyne was at Chelsea, wasn't he? And he was pants. Salah was pants.
Salah, yeah.
Look at them. Now look at them. Different managers. Now, not saying Mourinho was terrible or that, but maybe Mourinho just coached them wrong because Dyer was very good when Pochettino was there. So I'm in the middle here. I think, the first 3 games, they haven't put a foot wrong. If these were last year, the first 3 games, every foot was wrong. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here that they've been coached a little bit different. I think they're a lot fitter. So they're as fit as they were when Pochettino. So I'm disagreeing a little bit about the whole defensive side. I think Dyer and Sanchez are going to surprise all of us because we were all last year going, oh, Dyer, Sanchez. But I think they're going to surprise a few of us this season. I think we will ship less goals this season by say 15, 20 than we did last season.
They may be fitter and they might have worked on stuff like that, but you can't address just through fitness bad defending. We're static, not picking up men, letting people run. Cavani,
absolutely.
Again,
but confidence as well is a big thing. And Mourinho is not a confidence man. Yeah. You know, Mourinho will slate you when you make a mistake. He will do, but Nuno's not that. You know, Nuno's a proper man manager. These boys aren't walking off the pitch going, "Oh God, if I make another mistake, I'm out of the team." They make a mistake, they on the training field, they back again. They've started 2 games in a row.
No, I agree with that. But like I said, that's also a benefit. But last season at home, the 3-1 defeat to Man United, Cavani gave Eric Dyer a lesson in how to, basically lose the defender, because Dyer couldn't find him. Dyer couldn't find anyone that game. Literally, he was poor. And it's those type of basics that they don't have. And under Pochettino, Dyer was good more as a central defensive midfielder than he was a centre-back.
Great, I see what both of you were saying, to be fair.
Yeah.
And that's why these shows are so good, because we get our own opinions. And at the end of the season, we will, Spurs for the title. How good would that be?
If we win the title, I'll shave my head bald. There we go. So I've said it on here.
If you shave your head, I'll grow my hair.
There you go. So I'll donate my hair to you. We'll make a wig.
I'll put blonde streaks in mine.
Just to top that bit off that you've been talking about, the only thing I have to agree with Alan. The key thing for Sanchez and Dyer is you're always saying they haven't made a mistake yet, because we're just waiting. They are, the best word to use it is clumsy. They are clumsy defenders. They could switch off in it. And I know every defender makes a mistake. Even the best defenders make mistakes, but not like those two do. And I think the reason I want Romero in so much is because he's different. He'll pick the ball up. He'll drive out with it. He's always looking forward. He's always looking to make something happen. But like I say, we can't really complain at the minute, can we? Because we've got 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. So we'll see how it goes. But Mark, what do you think to the outgoings? Which one surprised you the most that we actually got rid of?
I don't think it surprised me getting rid of him. It's the way we got rid of him. Aurier for nothing, just tearing up his contract. I think that was. I'm glad he's gone. However, Daniel Levy, we all know him. So something must have happened. I think he would have been more disastrous to be in the team or be around the guys. So to get nothing for him and say, look, thank you very much, please go. So that was the biggest surprise. I don't think any of them surprised me. I think they were all kind of on the cards. The one that did surprise me that didn't go, that I thought there was a bigger chance of going, was Ndombele. I thought somebody would come in for him. But I think there's only 3 clubs he kind of wants to go for, because in his head, he thinks he's that good. And I think it's like Barcelona, Real Madrid, or somebody like that. And from what I understand, nobody came in for him. So I think that was a bigger surprise, that he didn't go and that he's still left at the club.
No, definitely. Jacob, what about that comment, Aurier to Arsenal? Do you see it happening? I don't put it past him, but like I say, he's not our player anymore, is there? He's not in the legend mould, so I don't think it would be something that will upset him that much. But he will. He does seem like the type of bloke who will do it to piss Tottenham off and the hierarchy at Tottenham.
Come on, let's be honest, boys. If he goes Arsenal, is that going to piss you off? Or is it going to make you laugh?
I'll laugh. He's similar.
That's the only Spurs player, apart from literally, if you got to the beginning of the transfer window and with a squad of 25, if someone said to me, name one player that could go to Arsenal out of that squad and you'd be all right with it, it'd be him. Not because he's a bad player. But, yeah, or one of them. Any right back. You could take any right back apart from Tanganga. And to be fair, I thought Tanganga was going to maybe see himself as a centre-half, which I still think that's going to be the case, because I think Nuno at some point wants to play a 3. That's why we got Emerson in, because it's like Emerson and Doherty, and then Tanganga can be rotated in a back 3 sort of thing. But if Aurier wants to go to Arsenal, he can have a good game. I don't care. I know he's going to have a bad one in the North London derby. So, you know what I mean? Imagine playing Arsenal in the next couple of weeks and Son's getting marked by Aurier. Even Son would be like, I'll probably score a hat-trick here because he's marking me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Aurier
you don't
or
need that
Cedric,
for me.
either one.
It's not exactly a Sol Campbell, is it? It's like, not bothered. It's more like an ex-girlfriend.
Alan, what about you? Who surprised you the most at actually leaving?
I agree that it was the Aurier situation because I thought we could have got money for him. So for me, something's happened for it just to be a torn-up contract. Like, not torn up, but basically we'll pay it off and you can just leave. That for me, that's unheard of because I think you could have got at least 15 million for him. So for it to happen like that, I don't know. I don't think he's going to go Arsenal. How many right backs do they need? You know, I know they're well.
It's very true.
Did Bellerin stay or did Bellerin go?
They went to Betis.
Okay, so apart from him, they've got that new defender who doesn't know if he's right back or centre back. They've got Cedric. They've got. I don't think they'd want Aurier too, but yeah, for me, it was good getting rid of Sissoko. Good getting rid of Lamela. We should have got rid of somebody else like Winks. It was a decent window. We could have got one more central central defender and got rid of either Dyer or Sanchez. For me, one as a partnership, like I've said, they're not good enough. But yeah, it was all right. We got rid of quite a bit of deadwood. For me, Harry Winks needs to go as well. I don't know why he's staying to fight for his place when he's just not good enough.
Did you see how much money we've saved a year on the wage bill? 39 million a year.
That's good. But for me, there's more stuff that could be done. So I would, for me, Winks should have gone. I'm glad that Skip's in starting. I think for me, even Lo Celso could have gone. I haven't seen much from him. I haven't.
But then, did you see him last night? Did you see him against Argentina? He set up Martinez.
Yeah,
magic.
But he done it for Argentina in the Copa America. But he's not done it for Spurs.
But he's playing in a different position. In Argentina, they play him in a different position. So maybe that's part of where we're playing him for Tottenham. I
think it's the type of football that he's used to. You know, like when he's playing for Argentina, it's similar to like Spanish type of football. They'll give you all the time in the world. So when he's playing for Argentina or he plays for Real Betis, like Real Betis, we bought a player that scored 16 goals in the season. I think it was only Suarez, Messi, and someone else that scored more goals than him. So when we bought him, I was thinking, sweet, that's a number 10. Challenge Dele Alli, who also was scoring 16 goals for us. But between the two of them, they're not even scoring 6. So I agree with Alan. It's just like this season, he's probably got lucky. I think, but this season, it's just like make or break. If you're not going to score goals and you're not going to assist, then effectively, what are you doing?
I mean,
the problem is, I don't think he starts in our team at all. And that's the problem at the moment. So I don't think we're going to see the best of him. You know, coming on for 20 minutes or 15 minutes every game, I don't think we're going to see the best of him. So, you know, we've got 2 holding defensive midfielders, you know, and I know Dele Alli looks stronger and fitter, but I don't know, has he got what he, you know, has he still got the same skill set as what he had 3 years ago? I don't know. And, you know, for me, it's still a coin toss with Dele Alli. You know, I'm still not sold on Dele Alli at the moment. He's looking ripped. He's looking fitter, but he's looking hungrier. He's looking more passionate. He runs around. I'm still not seeing that finished product from him at the moment. You know, especially 3 years ago, what we used to see. He was amazing 3 years ago.
Okay, so for me, going back to the Lo Celso thing, he's played in like 3 or 4 different positions for Spurs. Do we even know what his best position is for us? No, because he doesn't really perform. So for me, you know, that's why I say I don't think he's good enough. And also, as you said, he doesn't really start for us, which is not a good sign. When he was about, he doesn't. What did we get him in for? About 50 million, 30, 40, 50 million around that mark?
40 million, wouldn't it? Sound like,
Yeah. So that's for me, that's not good enough. You need to be pushing or being like,
and it's amazing. It's amazing. He starts for Argentina, but he doesn't start for Spurs. It's
also going to the Dele Alli thing. We won't see the end product from him from 3 or 4 seasons ago because he's not playing in the same role. He's deeper. I'd said he couldn't play that role this season. It looks like he's playing that role and playing it okay at the moment. hopefully he progresses and develops as the season goes along and gets better and better. It's early stages with him, but this is a defining season for Dele Alli.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's either now or never for him. So
It's even now when he goes to Palace, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That's what it feels like, anyway.
Yeah.
They've all got, well, majority the players that have stayed, they've basically all got a clean slate under a new manager. They've basically got either till January or the summer, like you said, the Dele Allis and the Celsos, Dias, Sanchez. They've all got a clean slate, and at the minute it's working. Yeah, they seem to be, like Mark said, they're fitter. They're working harder off the ball, making more runs, stuff like that. But at some point in the season, like every season, it's gonna get sticker for Tottenham. It's going to be a bad run of form, and then that's where Nuno will see what a Lo Celso does on and off the ball, and what how Dele Alli reacts, and like Lo Celso he will have a good game for us, but then he's out for 6 weeks with an injury that he's picked up, whether it be training or. So he's the same as Ndombele for us. There's just no consistency in his appearances for us. He's there for 2 weeks and he's out for 3. Then he's back for a month and he's out for 2 months.
I saw a picture today of Ndombele, and he looks a lot fitter than he did a season and a half ago. Now, I know you say Lo Celso always got an injury under Mourinho and all that, and I just think these guys are a lot fitter now. I think you'll see, and this is my opinion only, I think you'll see less injuries. I just think, and it was the same under Pochettino. When Pochettino came in, he really got them fit. You know, if you look for 18 months, yeah, we had injuries here and there, but consistently we had the same 11, 12 players playing in and out, week in, week out, because they didn't really have major injuries. And I think the fitter you are, the more conditioned your body is. Like any athlete, yeah, you'll break down from time to time if you're playing every single game. But the fitter you are, I think, you know, you're less prone to injuries. So I'm hoping, you know, and here's hoping that Lo Celso does get fitter, and when he does get his opportunity, that he does prove to everybody that there is quite a good player in him.
Yeah,
because if we get that player, good God, you know, Spurs can really start pushing on, can't they?
Exactly. That's all I want. I want every Spurs player to be pushing, you know, I want us as fans to be going, who do we play at the first 16? Who do we play?
Absolutely.
It's never going to happen, but that's what you want. Also going back, it just obviously we're definitely in like starting a rebuild, because if you think back to under Poch's reign, you had Kane, Son, Eriksen, Dembele, and probably Lloris at his best, who were always performing each week. You had about 5 players who could continuously perform each week. Now you're lucky if you get Harry Kane and maybe Son to perform each week. So the quality and the basically of being able to do it week in, week out, it's fallen off dramatically. That's why we find ourselves going backwards. Yeah. So we need to be able to get players in, to build them up, to be able to perform on that consistent basis like we had 3 or 4 seasons ago. So it's going to be you know, a lengthy spell, but hopefully it's like another rebuild and go again like under Poch.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I say, we've got the young players in there, like obviously the Pape Sarr, who stayed out on loan. So it'd be nice to see him next season. But last thing on transfers, gents, I just want one player off you. I'll start with you, Jacob. Just one player that you're gutted we didn't actually sign in the transfer window.
Oh, that's a good question.
Messi for me.
I was going to say that, but I thought there's no point. I was going to say Messi or Ronaldo. But I thought,
Ronaldo all day long over Messi.
I thought, let me be serious for a change, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a good question. For me, I wanted a creative midfielder, but the only creative midfielder that we were linked around was Aurora, and it was like I've seen him play against Man City for Lyon, but he's more linked around Arsenal, so I wasn't really too bothered if we didn't get him. But then, like, I'm not saying there's a player out there that I'm not bothered that we didn't get. I think it's more about the positions that we didn't strengthen. So it's like You got Reguilon, for instance, who started off brilliantly. No one's really talking about him, but he's actually done well considering what I saw last season. I thought he was a clumsy defender, but all it takes is for him to pull up with a hamstring and we're back to Ben Davies. Do you know what I mean? It's like right back. I don't know what this Emerson's about, but if he starts off badly, we've got Matt Doherty. So, like I said, the transfer window was okay. I can't really think of a player that I was gutted about because we weren't really rumoured around any. I think it was just more the case of I've looked at myself as a Spurs fan and thought probably got to be a bit more patient because if you're going to do a rebuild, we're not going to bring Patrici in and then he's going to sort it out in one summer. It's going to take him 2, 3, maybe it'd probably take him 3 or 4 summers if him and Daniel Levy work together. So for me, I'm not really gutted. I'm just more about myself being patient with the process. And if the process works, then probably the next season is where we'll take off.
Yeah, Mark, what about you? Have you got any single player?
Yeah, look, I think, the players that we've always been banded about the last 2 seasons who I would have loved to have brought in. Skriniar for me, one. He's been about for the last season and a half. I would have loved to have seen him come in. We talked about Dyer and Sanchez. I think he would have fitted in really well. I think up front, I would love to have played alongside Kane was Dybala. Somebody like him to come along, that would have just been. But I think the one that really the one that gutted me because I was championing him last season, who I'd love to see him come in, was Danny Ings. Aston Villa to get him under our nose at 25 million. That's a steal.
That's
I still think he'll give you 10 to 15 goals a season and playing alongside. I think that's the one that under the radar, really. I was driving home one evening and Danny Ings to Aston Villa and I'm like, what? Seriously? That wasn't even. So I think something like that would have been my miss.
Alan, have you got a single player that you can think of?
No. So with the people that we were linked with, there's 3 names. Obviously, I wish we may have got like one or the other of Vlahovic or Martinez, who we were linked with, because, like I said, we needed something a little extra up front. If he's going to go to a 3-5-2, then both of them would have helped, Harry Kane out. And then as the defender, I'd say Torres, the Villarreal defender that didn't want to come to us. Well, he was happy to stay at Villarreal. Like I said, we needed reinforcement. So seeing him come to us would have been a bonus, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
Yeah, mine's Lautaro Martinez. I really, really wanted him at Tottenham, but didn't happen, so never mind. But I'm going to go on to the next thing, lads. Yeah. And that's the win. Another 1-0 win at the weekend. Like I said last week, Alan, when you couldn't make it, since we've started this show, we've not lost in the league. We've not conceded in the league. This show is what gets those players ready for a Saturday or Sunday. They'll watch us on a Friday.
Yeah.
They've subscribed to the first 11. They'll watch Latimer's Prime on his fraud watch to make sure none of them make it.
Yeah.
Even though he's a bit biased against Tottenham, but we won't talk about him. But Alan, what did you make of the 1-0 win? I know it was at home to Watford, but it's another 1-0 win.
Another 1-0 win. It was good in bits. There was areas of the game where it wasn't as good. Is it sustainable, this 1-0 business? I don't know. I just at the moment, I'm getting Mourinho vibes. That's what I'm getting. So, it's one of them things where you want to see a better performance, but you can't knock the winning results. So we'll take it if it's there, but you'd hopefully believe that better performances are coming, especially when you got on the horizon a team like Chelsea laying in wait. So we need to up the performances, and hopefully that's something that could progress over the weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jacob, what about you? How did you make it a performance?
Yeah, the performances have been good. I can't even fault what Alan's just said there. It's like, it's nice because we're top of the league. We ain't conceded. The defence has looked better than the attack, to be fair, but we've got the job done. But what we need to do is definitely progress in our performances for sure, because it's like when I look at the next 3 performances, it's like Chelsea, Arsenal, Vieira. Do you get what I'm saying? Forget that it's Palace. It's like, imagine Patrick Vieira is probably in his living room in his pants, just wanting to beat us. Do you know what I mean? Just be, yeah, I mean, he'd be on the touchline. He's not even thinking about Selhurst Park or Crystal Palace. It's like, I can't stand Tottenham, and he's had a career where, I wouldn't be surprised if we looked at the stats and realised that Vieira's never lost to Tottenham. Do you know, one of them ones? So he might have that in his chest. So I think against Palace, so Palace away, they've had Roy Hodgson, Pardew, and we've gone there, and it feels like we've drawn quite a lot, or we've nicked it by the odd goal. So I think you're going to have to step up the performance there, because against Wolves, on another day we could have lost. On another day Wolves would have probably beat us as well as United at home, but they didn't. So I think if we go to Palace away and get a good result and a good performance, then it builds us, because Chelsea's probably the toughest opposition in the league, full stop. Like, I'd rather play Man City than Chelsea. And then Arsenal away, how many times have Arsenal been crap and we still lost there? Like, the last time we beat them at the Emirates was when we had Van der Vaart, didn't we? Kabul, the last goal. You know what I mean? So that feels like it was about 10 years ago. So
it's the only time we have beaten them at the Emirates, and I think it was about 9 years ago.
Yeah, so there you go. You know what I mean? So we need to, if we put it this way, if we went to Palace and not only beat them convincingly, but we battered them, I'm not saying Palace is the benchmark, but it'd be like, right, we can get in some confidence and go and play Chelsea. Now, if we go to Chelsea, another good performance and get a draw, then I'm confident we could go to Arsenal and beat them. But if we go to Crystal Palace and have a bad performance and draw or lose, how do you go to Chelsea? You've probably got the best squad in the league and be confident that you're going to beat them. And if you lose to Chelsea or get a bad result and a bad performance, Arsenal somehow are going to beat you. So it's one of them, isn't it? That's football for you, isn't it?
They're words we don't want to be saying on this show. If that happens and we do not beat them down the road, this show, it will not be airing the Friday after. We will be taking a week off at least. But Mark, what did you make of the Watford win? Happy with the 3 points and clean sheet again?
Oh, absolutely. I in my opinion, I thought we could have won 3-4-0. I thought the performance was better than how the lads are describing it. I think we looked more comfortable than we would have ever done last season. If we had our shooting boots on, I think the more we play, the more clinical we get. What do we have? We had 9 shots, 10 shots. Last season we would have had 1, and that would have been in the 85th minute, because we were defending all the time. I'll be honest. On Sunday, I watched the game. I wasn't worried at all. Our defending didn't look shoddy when they came at us. I thought Højbjerg was immense again. I thought Skip played well. They controlled the middle of the park. And like I say, Bergwijn and all, if they got their shooting boots on, we're winning 3-0. We're winning 4-0. And that's going to come. We're building from the back. We're moving forward.
I love your positivity, man.
I'm a lot more confident than last year. And I know Alan just said very Mourinho-like because it's a 1-0 win. But I take away from the game, we had many more chances than when Mourinho, when Mourinho played, we had 2-3 chances. We've seen those games. We had a lot more chances against Watford. We just didn't put them away. And when Harry Kane and Sonny and Bergwijn and all them do start, Dele Alli starts to click again, you'll see. We're not going to beat everybody 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Nobody's going to do that, besides Man City. We beat Man City, and then all of a sudden they go beat everybody 5-0. Because I think they're shocked. I think Pep Guardiola's upset. But, I'm not as not downbeat, but I'm pretty confident. I think we're playing a lot better brand of football, and it doesn't remind me of Jose Mourinho and that kind of football last season, although we've only won 1-0. So I'm a lot more confident, if I'm honest.
I do like your positivity, but let's be realistic. I mean, I'm not expecting us to beat every team 4 or 5-0, but when you're only getting 1-0 wins, for me, the best performance was against Man City because it was sustained counter-attacking. It weren't just the odd counter-attack here and there. It was sustained counter-attacking, but we set up not to lose, which everyone does against that. Against Wolves, let's be honest, on another day, Wolves could have beat us 3-0. That they were all over us, and we were lucky to hang in there. So I can't be positive about that. All I can be positive about is that we got the 1-0 win. And Watford, we disagree on what we saw for the game. There was times where Watford, looked like they had the chance to score, and like they just didn't take the chance. And when we're saying about we've got to wait for everyone to click and start scoring, Bergwijn and scoring pretty much doesn't come in the same sentence, is it? Let's be honest, as Spurs fans.
But Loris didn't even have to make a proper save in the game, in the whole game. So he wasn't even.
I think he had to make one save. Yeah,
I think he had one that was kicked.
But what I'm saying is, it wasn't a performance that you look on and go like that. That's how we should be playing each week. For me, it's still not there yet. With certain games like that, it can, especially at home against a team that's probably going to be facing relegation battles and all that. Why start with 2 holding midfielders? They're the type of games you put 1 holding midfielder and go, express yourself, lads. Sometimes it may backfire and you may have a shock result. But when you have 2 holding players, especially, that's where you miss your opportunities to probably build up your goal difference.
No, I agree.
Yeah, no, I do get you on that. But with him winning 2 games already, do you think it's a risk in Nuno's mind? If you're putting yourself in his shoes, do you risk breaking up that Højbjerg-Skip partnership, or would you rather them to? Obviously, we need them to play as much games as possible because it's clearly Nuno's style. 2 holding midfielders with a man in the middle with them who's going to get beyond Kane and get beyond Son, get into the box like a Dele Alli, or like you say, because at the minute the teams we're playing, bar Man City, Wolves against Wolves, Adama Traore absolutely ripped us. Watford, it was Sarr. Coming up against Crystal Palace, they've got Zaha. I don't know what it is at the minute, but these 2 holding midfielders we've got seem to be there because I don't think Nuno actually trusts the fullbacks yet. They're there to get out, push out, and actually help the fullbacks in their defending. I think I do think it's a lack of trust at the minute.
I think it's a lack of trust because where they sit and everything like that, especially against Man City, I think it's a lack of trust, although we haven't conceded, because we sit back and we block the middle of the pitch. That's what we've done against Man City. That's what we've done against Wolves. That's why Traore had a field day against Tanganga, because he was just 1-on-1 on the wing, because it's like he's trying to protect the middle. And that's why we're forcing teams wide. Man City, apart from if you're Arsenal, who can't defend crosses for Toffee, Man City can put balls in and they score. But with us, it just seems like he's trying to compact the middle of the pitch and force teams wide against us. I don't think he trusts, the middle of the park. I think it's a static defending. I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jacob, you agree with Alan? Do you think it's a Mourinho type football?
I wouldn't go to Mourinho because, when he's at Wolves, he had 2 people playing in them positions, but neither of them were like defensive. So he had Neves and Moutinho, who we all know are more central midfielders. They're not somebody that you trust to drop deep to win balls. If anything, you're relying on them to drop deep to keep possession. So I think with Højbjerg, he's not De Bruyne, but he's not bad in keeping possession, and he's very good at winning it. And in Skip as well, he's probably his best asset is probably keeping possession. So I think he's looking at it, trying to get the Wolves model, and I think the 2 in the middle are better at defending than what he had. But then at Wolves, we played Wolves, other teams have played Wolves, and somehow you never beat them through the middle, even though they never had a defensive midfielder. They had what's his name? To be fair, Dendoncker, who he did a job, but a lot of the time they played him in the back 3 as well. So I think what it is, I don't think he's relying on them 2 to defend. I think it's more about stability. Just at least have someone there. I'm not relying on you to be a Kante, but just be there.
Pack in the middle of the pitch. Pack
it out. Just pack it out. And it's you know what I mean? For me, I play centre midfield, and it's like, as much as I want to go up the other end and score goals, in my mind, when I look around and think, right, no one's defending it, I'll sit even though I want to go and score. So I think Højbjerg and Skip have got that in them. And as long as they've got that in them and they've got that positional sense, if you're a footballer and you can't tackle, then you shouldn't be playing football.
No, yeah, that's fair enough. That is fair enough.
You can't tackle, man. You got shown to be tackled. I got shown how to tackle when I was 6. So if you're like 26 and you don't know how to tackle, then what are you doing?
We'll make that a discussion one day, Jacob. We'll get a first 11 episode on the art of tackling. But now that game's done, obviously we're going to Palace after the international break. Mark, are you expecting us to line up? Because obviously the Celso, Ramiro, I think they've got after quarantine. I've read that Sanchez going to play for Colombia. He's going to have to quarantine. I don't. Do we actually know who will be available for that game yet for Tottenham, who's gone on international break?
Yeah, I think that's the $1 million question. I just read somewhere today, even the Argentinian coach is saying that there's no agreement for this Bolivia game, or so he's going to keep them for Thursday. So that means they'll miss Chelsea as well, and I think our Europa, or is it the third round of the cup, or who we're playing, Wolves. Do I think it's going to be changed? It will definitely change, because they won't be playing Crystal Palace, so you won't have Sanchez, you won't have Ramiro. I'm still not sure if I never saw any pictures of Joe Rodon in the training, so I don't know how far he's from. So yeah, who do they play? There's Dyer. What you put in Tanganga?
Yeah,
where's Emerson Royal from? Is he? He's not on the red country. Where's he gone for international duty?
Brazil.
He's chosen for Brazil. So.
No, he's not been picked, Emerson. And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Brazilian,
but
so he's at the training ground. So yeah, look, I think barring some of those defenders and the Celso, I think you'll pick the same, barring injuries. I think he'll pick the same 11. Maybe bring Joe Rodon in if he's fit, or put Tanganga in, and then I don't know. Will he trust Doherty, or would he give Emerson Royal a run out against Palace? Because who would be up against Zaha? That's a pretty tough opponent to put in. Welcome to the Premier League. Yeah, there's Wilfried Zaha. But look, I still think the way we're playing, and I'm going to be the positive one on this program. I still think they will go there with Kane, Sonny, and all that, and I expect to score 2 or 3 goals. Now we might come away winning 1-0 again, but in my heart, we could walk away from that game at scoring 3 or 4. We just need to get our chances. We score our chances and we're walking away. I'm not feared of Palace. Not like last year where we went and we would have scored and then we would have sat back. Even against Watford and Wolves, although they kept coming up, we would still go and attack. And then remember when Kane came in the last 15 minutes against Wolves, we looked so much better, didn't we? We looked like we wanted to go forward. The same as Watford. Although we were 1-0, we still wanted to attack. So I'm still very confident that we'll have a great game against Crystal Palace. However, I think our defensive line is going to be a little bit different unless they come back. Well, even if they came back today, they still have to quarantine, don't they? Or unless the government give them special dispensation, which I don't know. Through the Premier League, are out on the red list. Not just Spurs, but everyone. I don't know. Maybe there's 25 players. I don't know. So maybe there will be some special dispensation. I don't know. I don't know how many have got 2 jabs. None of us really know that, do they?
For me, that's what I was going to say. The only way you'd probably be able to come straight back and play is if you've been double jabbed, but I don't know who has.
Correct.
But for me, with the whole right back situation, if who we're going to play there, I'd trust the new guy, Emerson Royal, a million times before I trust Matt Doherty. Don't want him in the club. So I would not give him. I wouldn't even bring him to the. He's just not good enough for me. The Palace game, I'm a bit more confident about because they're not doing too well. But it's always them type of games that have always stung us in the past. So last season, we actually, when we went 1-0 up there, we had chances to go 2 or 3-0 up, and then we always seem. I can't remember the last time. It's literally always 1 goal in it, or we lose by 1 goal, or it's a draw. So it's always a tough place to go for us. And Palace, to be fair, they've done really well to get a draw against West Ham. So that it's not like because West Ham are a good team this year. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it's a slam dunk, but I just think that it's going to be a better performance So for me, I'm being positive, and I reckon we'll get a result there. And I think the upfront picks itself again. Although I would like to see Bergwijn be dropped and Moura go back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the front line picks itself, because anything could happen now. What if Poland go into the red zone and Kane has to quarantine when he gets back? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen now, do you?
Yeah.
We could have to play our under 23s who haven't gone anywhere, because every player at some point got the quarantine. But Jacob, I don't want to go. I didn't mean to take that negative. I apologise. Mark and Alan, really big that performance coming up. So Jacob, carry on. How do you think we'll do?
Yeah, like in my head, I see a 2-1. But like you said, with COVID and all the madness that's going on in the world at the minute, you just don't know what the lineup's going to be. But if we're going to say what's going to happen, you know that Sanchez and Romero ain't going to play. So it'll probably be Dyer, Tanganga. I'd like to, like I said, I agree with Alan. Just give the new guy a go, because there's no point in trying to ease him into the Premier League. If you want to know what the Premier League's about, Palace away with Zaha, if you come out of that, you'll probably do well in most of the games, because there's not many left-sided midfielders with that amount of trickery. There'll be players that are probably better than Zaha. You know, you've got players like Sterling, for instance, who you'll be marking him in a different way. Someone like Mane, for instance, it'd be a different battle. But this guy just dribbles past anybody and everybody. And on his day, he's a world beater. So I'd trust him and just give him a go. And if he has a bad game, we'll allow him. You know, he's just come back from Spain, doesn't even understand English. So for Spurs fans to get on his back if he has a bad game against Zaha is bad. But the back four has to be like that. Skip and Højbjerg, no matter what you want, that's going to stay the same. And then you're going to have Dele Alli. Yeah, Lucas. I was surprised that Lucas Moura didn't play over Bergwijn against Watford. Do you know what I mean? Like, Lucas Moura against Wolves wasn't great, but against Man City, you know, apart from Tanganga, he was man of the match. And it's just like, he's very inconsistent, but I'd rather have him in, because if he has a good game, he's man of the match. And if he has a crap game, he still works hard. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I can still trust him to dig in and help the right back. So if we have got the new right back who's Brazilian, and you've got Lucas Moura there who's Brazilian, I'd like to think that them two are going to have a, you know, he's going to be relied on to help him and ease him into the squad and teach him English and all that stuff. You know, he'd be going to Lucas Moura's house and all that madness. So I'd rather have Lucas Moura just go, don't worry about it, mate. If you need help in defending, I'll be there. So Lucas Moura and the new guy on the right-hand side, Son and Reguilon have got a good relationship. And then as long as you've got Harry Kane can have a crap game, but he can score a penalty and score a worldie, and then we win 2-0. So I think we'll be all right. Just 2-1.
Right, yeah. I'm going for another 1-0. I think it's just another 1-0. I think we'll make it 4 on the back.
That's a safe bet, isn't it?
That's it at the minute. Just go for the 1-0. Like you say, it's with Emerson as well. You might as well throw him in. There's everything from the Premier League to the La Liga is different. I mean, even the crowd at Selhurst Park, that's not a crowd you get in the Spanish league.
Oh, they're the best home.
It's a different noise he's going to experience. He's going to experience everything: the speed of the game, the crowd, the
hostile.
Tapping. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to have. It'll be a full Selhurst Park. It's a London derby. Don't matter who they're playing in London, their fans will turn up and they will give you shit for 90 minutes. So you've got to be willing to put up with that for an hour and a half of the day. But yeah, we're all confident then. Everyone's confident.
You're right as well, Ryan, as well, because you think about it, you might as well chuck him in now, because if you can't get used to Selhurst Park, we've got 3 London derbies in a row. So just get used to it, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just get out there and enjoy yourself. And like I said, you can't understand what they're saying at the minute anyway. So he's all right. He just says booze and cheers, bless him. But the next thing I want to talk to you all about is his actual Nuno. Mark, how do you think he's done at the minute? Better than you expected?
Absolutely. You know, he wasn't our first choice, was he? Or some people's first choice. I think a lot of people, they wanted, was it Conte or somebody like that? But look, I think he talks well. You know, I listened to him against when we came out from Watford, and he was right. And this is where I say, you know, if we were more clinical, He thinks we're playing well. He likes the structure, but we just need to be more clinical. And we take it step by step. He's not overplaying everything. He's protecting the players. He's not like Mourinho that would throw somebody under the bus. He's keeping he doesn't air his dirty laundry out in the public where people like us, where we start talking about it. So if there are things happening behind the scenes, as we know there must be with Tanguy and people like that, it's kept very quiet. So I like his style. He seems a quiet man. I read other pieces coming out of the Sun, coming out of here that don't like some of the things. He's very quiet in the dressing room. He will only talk to them on the training ground. You're going to get that through everybody wants to hate Spurs. So there's always something in there. But I think, I give him, at the moment, I can't fault him. We played 3 games, we're 9 points. I think he'll win Manager of the Month. But I think with him winning Manager of the Month, that might just put a kibosh on something, so early in the season. I'd rather him win Manager of the Month in March and April next year, because then we're going on a run. But yeah, I can't really fault him. I think he talks well. I think he's looking after the players. I think there's a lot of players that like working with him, and you can see that in all the training that they're doing. All I can see is people laughing, smiling, and enjoying themselves. And I think from a young age, we were all taught football. Just go out and have fun. And I think you can see that on their faces. They seem to be having fun. So that must be from him. And so, yeah, I give him an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 at the moment, because he hasn't really put a foot wrong.
Yeah. Alan, what about you? Like Mark said, he's had to come in and deal with the Harry Kane saga, me and Ndombele situation, and then obviously he must have some say in the transfers, but now we've got a director of football in Paratici, might not have as much say. How do you think he's done with us at the minute?
So he wasn't my first choice. When we appointed him, I wasn't particularly happy about it, because for me, he seems to play similar football to Mourinho in the fact that he likes to be defensively sound and then attack. So for me, it wasn't my choice. He's done better than I thought he would have to begin with. So the way he's dealt with the Kane situation, the Ndombele situation, as a manager behind the scenes and to the press, I think he's done a really good job. And then on the pitch, we were unbeaten. We haven't conceded, which is always a bonus. I would like to see, more taking the ball by horns against smaller teams at home, and rather than sticking with the 2 holding players. That's just me. I was saying the same under Mourinho as well. I want to see more attacking against smaller teams, but it was always, defensively sound first and go from there. But he's doing better than I thought he would. So long may it continue. I'd say I'd give him a 7 out of 10 for now. But that's based on the performances. We should have lost against Wolves. If on another day, Man City, we caught them cold, and it was a good performance on the day. But I just think there's improvement on the pitch. Off the pitch, I think he's doing everything right so far.
God, it's a good job we've got Mark on this panel, isn't it, Alan?
Can I just say something? You say on another day we would have lost to Wolves, but we didn't lose to Wolves.
No, I'm just saying. But you're getting sold on the we won bit. No, you're getting sold on the we won bit, which is good. There's going to be those games where we play.
It can't be any better than winning.
We don't. No, but I did say you take the
so
positive.
Many times you can win like that.
Yeah, but there's only a couple.
You can win. You could win 38 games like that.
Yeah, but you could also lose 38 games like that. You could also lose 38 games like that. Let's be honest.
But we haven't. We've won 3 out of 3.
But it's going to come to the time where we're going to get to a game where we probably should win 1-0 and get tonked 4-0 because with the way we play.
How? It hasn't happened. We can't look at the future. You've got to take where we are now.
Yes, and I am. But let's look last season when it didn't work out with Mourinho.
Last season's gone. You have to
take it in context. You can't just say gone and we win 1-0, because when the game's come and we lose 1-0, you go, you'll probably go, well, it's one of them things you can't hack.
But then I can go back 3 seasons ago where we came second and
Yes.
we won. We went on the run. So I can go back to 1961 when we won the league.
And when it came to crucial times, when it came to crucial games, we lost because we were too negative.
Oh no, we've won 3 out of 3. We have to be positive. We top of the league.
I have said we're positive, but you're just saying, but we didn't lose to Wolves. That's a good thing. But on another day, like supposing we do play the same against Palace, the exact same way against Palace, and they end up beating us 2 or 3-0. Then what? Then will you come on here and say, "Oh, it was one of them games we only lost 2 or 3"? No, you'd be because it's the way we're playing. I'm saying the way we're playing can improve. I'm not saying
we haven't played the way we played against Wolves and lost yet.
The thing is, though, you're both right. This is the thing. There's
exactly.
You're both right because it's like Mark's right in the fact that we've won the games, and that's what's made me go into the bank holiday weekend full of vibes. But at the same time, I'm not going to be one of those that says we're going to win the league. You know, my cousin supports Liverpool, and like realistically, they're a couple of places below us, and they probably definitely played a lot better, but they're below us. So it's like there's only so many games. One thing I'll say to Mark is that I love your positivity, but think about what it was like with AVB. That's exactly what it feels like. It's like AVB. We sat in 2 banks of 4.
I've supported Spurs,
Gareth Bale and Sigurdsson.
Yes,
and there was one point where after 8 games we were top of the league, and then like once everybody sussed us out that we weren't really an attacking team, we ended up finishing 5th, and Gareth Bale left. So
if I spoke to all of you last year, end of November, what would you have all said before we went on that? It was Mourinho. We were top of the league. We were just playing Liverpool.
Can't come at me with that because I was saying the exact same thing back under Mourinho. Thank you.
I wouldn't have answered the phone, mate, because it's Tottenham. It's too good to be true.
But what I'm saying is,
I said under Mourinho, the way we were playing wasn't sustainable. And I think I was the same with Ryan. I was saying the same as Eleanor as well. Shout out to Eleanor, who's not here. But we were saying the same thing, that it's, it's going well, but it's not sustainable. And it happened because it was sustainable.
I see a major difference how Nuno and Mourinho, because we've won 1-0, but I see us attacking a lot more. I see us being a lot
There's not a lot more, but it's more than more.
As a team, we are more team-wise than individual at the moment. The one thing I wanted to say, did you watch the last Wolves game? Who did they play? Was it Man United or
Man United? Yeah.
Did they not? Can I ask? Did they not batter Man United?
They battered us the same way, though.
No, exactly. They battered Man. Did Man United win?
Yeah, they did. But the fans weren't pleased. Yeah. But the fans were holding. But no. Their fans. But
my concern is you. So you go to a Wolves fan and you say, "God, you batter them every week, but you keep on losing." Their fans aren't going to walk away.
Yeah, but it's going to come to a point. It's going to come to a point where they don't lose them games, and it's going to come to a point where we don't win them games and we start losing them games. It's going to turn. We're not going to go and win 38 games 1-0, are we? If we play like that, we're going to end up getting beat heavily.
I can't say that because
after this conversation, I want to take your number because every time Tottenham play you, 10 minutes before kickoff, I'm in the living room, jumping around thinking, I wonder what the score's going to be. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to ring you. I'm going to ring you and say, what's the score going to be? You're going to talk to me like that, and I'm going to be in the living room in my boxers saying we're going to win 4-0.
No, look, we won't win 4-0 all the time. But I think the way we're playing, we play. In my opinion, we're playing a lot better with a lot more positivity than we did last year. I don't see a resemblance of last year, that negativity. And I was negative last year, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I would sit here in front of my TV. I would go to when we were allowed to go to a couple of games. I'd be going, no, I don't want to watch this. This is boring. Yeah. This is so. But I haven't felt like that on any of the 3 games we've seen this season. I haven't.
Yeah, so the negativity isn't there. I'll give you that against Maria. Like the negativity is not there, but it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna although we were really good on the Poch, it came to those crucial moments and we froze and we played poorly, or we sat back and we defended and we end up getting picked off. West Ham at their ground to stop us winning the title, where Chelsea went on to win the next game. West Brom the season before when we were well ahead of Arsenal, the West Brom game, the 1-1 draw at home and all that. stuff like that always happens with Spurs. And the more we sit back and are defensive, especially against smaller, not no disrespect, but smaller teams, especially away from home, we get picked off. We seem to, out of the Big Six, get picked off easiest out of all the Big Six teams against smaller opposition. It always seems
but
to be
hopefully this is the change now. Hopefully this is the change. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the positive where I'm going, well, we've got Nuno now. We've got a better man manager than we had. I'm hoping the penny's going to drop somewhere. And looking at the first 3 games with, those two that we would have said, out of 38 games last year, They how many mistakes did they make in 38 games? They made loads. But this year they've started really well. Now, what I don't want to do is sit here and go, oh, I'm waiting for a mistake. I'm waiting for a mistake. I'm waiting, because that's going to drive me down. So I want to sit here going, well, do you know what? Maybe the penny has dropped. Maybe they are that good, and maybe they're not going to make those mistakes, and maybe we're going to be quite solid. And now we need to look at, the thing that worries me, I love Harry Kane, but he missed 3 sitters last night. He could have had 4 goals, couldn't he?
Yeah.
So his shooting boots aren't on at the moment, and he needs to get his shooting boots on. Do you know what I mean? So, so listen, I think it's up for debate. I'm just pleased the way we've started.
I'm pleased we're sitting on the table on 3-1-0 wins and all that. But for me, what I'm saying is the performances need to improve, because we've got big teams coming up like Chelsea, who, if we try and play like that, like we did away to Wolves, like away to Chelsea, home to Chelsea, they're going to take us apart. Especially with
Would you be happy with a 1-0 win against Chelsea?
Some games like that, sometimes you have to win those games 1-0, win them ugly.
I don't mind. I take a 1-0 win against Chelsea. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but rather a 2. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I hate 1-0s, man.
I'd like a 5-0 win just to show people that we are that good. But I take a 1-0 win.
And it comes to a point also last season when we were winning those games just by the odd goal and sitting back, and we got to a thing like that. It got to a point where it was almost like, well, we're top of the table and we were always like winning. When we get 1-0 up, let's just secure what we got. I don't want us to fall into that mindset this season. If we're top of the table after 10 or 11 games, let's stick with what we know. Get a goal up and go, we don't want to lose this. Let's sit back and then get picked off. I don't want that. I want to build as the season goes on. Like, be more attacking, more like maybe even rotate the squad and change up the formation, go 3-5-2, do different stuff that keep teams guessing, because under Mourinho, we became predictable, and I don't want the same to happen this time around either. Like I said, Nuno wasn't my choice as manager, but he's doing a better job than what I thought gave him credit for. So long may it continue.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, absolutely agree.
I love the debate, gentlemen. Football is all about opinion, but I love it. Now, we're an hour in, but we're going to keep going till we finish this. I've got one more thing to talk about. Now, this might sound petty from me for what's happened, but it's not. I have said this now for a couple of seasons.
Okay.
Heung-min Son is our best player. Out of every player we've got in our team, including Harry Kane, Son is our best player. Now I can see Alan at the bottom of my screen.
I need to ask you, in what way is he our best player? In what way? Do you mean what he does for the club, or everything? Is it what?
Jacob, take it away, Jacob.
Go for it.
You know what it is? You know what? I've said this all the time. It's like there's a difference between our best player and our most important player. So we all know in football that no matter whether you're playing Sunday League or Champions League, the most important person and the one that gets the most glory is the one that scores the goals, right? So in that respect, of course it's Harry Kane. It's one of the ones like Harry Kane scores the most goals for us every season. However, Son for me brings out more for me as a Spurs fan than Harry Kane, because he's always happy. If he was playing up front, you can't discredit the fact that he might score as many as Harry Kane, because like every time Harry Kane hasn't played, Son's come in and gone up front and scored the goals. It's a fact, How many times have we played Man City, and Guardiola's called us the Harry Kane team, but then he's played us 5 times without Harry Kane, and every time we've played, Son scored. Yeah. So I get what it is. It's like it's one of the ones. The margins slimmed up a little bit because all I used to think was Harry Kane goals, goals, goals. But then when he's doing Eriksen's job as well as his own job last season, kind of made me think, yeah. But it's just one of those. It's like if Harry Kane stayed and Son left, something inside me would be a bit more upset that Son's left. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know, because he just looks like he wants to stay at Tottenham regardless of what we win, whereas Harry Kane's a bit more about himself. So that's the only reason why Son edges it. Son, I think, could play for Tottenham until he's 35 and win a League Cup and he'd be over the moon, whereas Harry Kane probably deserves to win more than a League Cup, but apparently he's the biggest yid in the squad, but he's more pissed off than somebody that's come from the Far East. So I'll just swing with Son.
Alan, take it away. I can see your eyes moving.
No, look at him. He's biting his lips, man. Do you want some Vaseline, mate?
No. Oh, I'm all good. So I was listening to that, and I'll agree with the most part of that.
No.
Best players. The only unfortunate thing I'll say for both of them is when it's come to crunch times to win us trophies, neither of them have shown up. So that's my main problem with that. So I would say Harry Kane is obviously the most important. He's the goal getter, but look what he did. He's developing all the time, even at his age, to the point where he took on 2 roles. So he's very important. And that's where you could probably say he's probably also one of, like, you could say him and Son are quite close into being the best players, because without Harry Kane developing his game, dropping deep and doing assists, would we have got as far as we did last season in the league before it all went wrong? Probably not. Son, I loved his passion for Spurs and wanting to be there and wanting to, just play for the team. Players like that don't come around often. And for me, you need to keep him in the team and keep him for as long as you can in that squad, just to obviously drive up morale with the rest of the players. And, you give your heart and soul for this club, and then you can there's always a place for you. So I agree on all counts. But like I said, for me, the crunch times come to win trophies with us, and neither of them, no one, to be fair, has ever shown up for Spurs in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, take it away. Give us your positive outlook.
Mark's going to say everybody.
Everybody. There's a difference between the better player and who I like more. For me, the better player is Harry Kane, and that's without a doubt. Harry Kane will sell for 175 million. Human Song, we might get 100, 120 million. The player I like, who gives passion and who would fight for our badge, who would run through the wall, is Sonny, But if you ask every Tottenham player in that team who they would, if they had to make one choice, like, that question, you go, if you went to an island and you could only choose one chocolate bar, which chocolate bar would you take? If you had to ask every Spurs player, which player in that team would they want on their side? I think 99% would say Harry Kane, not just because he scores goals, because he won the Golden Boot and the Golden Assist, or whatever it's called. So when it comes to players themselves at the moment, I think Harry Kane is the best player in our team.
I don't even think Harry Kane's technically better on the ball. I think he's probably third in our squad on the actual ball. I think Son and Ndombele are better footballers than Harry Kane. Harry Kane is I think Harry Kane is he's top 3 finishes in the world with himself, Ronaldo. Take Messi out of it because he's more playmaker, better than Ronaldo, but more playmaker. And he's Ronaldo, Lewandowski, and Kane are the best.
See, for me, Sonny, there's still times where Sonny goes a little bit missing.
But who doesn't, Mark? Who doesn't in this Tottenham squad?
No. But see, the question was, who do I think is better out of the two? So better for me, Harry Kane. Who do I like more, kind of as a player who I think is going to, for the next 6-7 years? I would have said Harry Kane up until this season, because I thought he was Tottenham through and through. And then what's happened but Sonny will just, I think he'll run through a brick wall. I think when you see him come on the camera, it's not about him, where I think now it's getting a little bit about Kane now, it's not just about the team. Now it's about, I want to win trophies. You never hear him say, I want to win trophies with Tottenham. As a club, I want to, whereas you see Sonny, end of the interview, We got the 3 points. We want to go for the trophies. We want to win this. We want to. It's always we with Sonny. It's never I. And for that, I love him because I think he's a team player. But as a player, the best, yes, Kane for me is leaps and bounds. Unfortunately, he's that damn good. Like you say, top 3 in the world at the moment.
Oh yeah,
for me, players will always be we until something gets put on the table. So see, Son's loving it at the minute, but if it got to the point where if Man City were going in for Son right now instead of Kane, do you think he'd be saying we?
Yeah, I think Son is a different character.
No, I don't know, man.
He's a totally different character. Did you listen to his interview? Did you listen to his interview? He said, I'm going to go home. Yeah. I'm going to put on and I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to go look and study the game back, see how I can improve, where we can do as a team, where we can work with my teammates. Just he's completely different, Sonny is.
Yeah, but I'll give you a question mark here. So
that's what he's saying. It depends on if he does it. You can say one thing and do another, yeah.
See the job you've got, Mark, yeah? Imagine we're all happy with our job right now. So where I work, I'm comfortable. I'll sit there and say yes to my manager. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. Now, if I wake up on Monday morning, check my emails, and there's the rival company that I work for saying, "You're right, Jake, how are you with your job? Because we'll pay you double what you're getting paid." Now, Friday night, I was over the moon with my job. Come Monday, sorry, my rival company are asking me to join them for double the wages. Now, I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm going to sit down indoors with my family and say, like, hold up a minute, like, I can earn double my wages, but it's going to piss off the company that I work for now. But I ain't going to lie to you. If they offer me a contract and say double your wages, I ain't going to lie. I'm not even bothered about the company that I work for now. I've worked for them for 2 years, and even the company before that, I worked for them for 8 years. I still wouldn't be bothered if you offer me double the wages because I'm thinking I only live once. I'm doing what's best for me and my family. So companies that I've worked for, I've sat there going, "Oh, I love this company. I'll do everything for this company," because there was a time where I work where I love it. But as soon as another offer comes along, which can better my career and my ambition and do everything for my family, I'm gone in an instant. So that's why.
But that's every single adult on the planet. That's not Sonny.
Well, exactly. So why is it different for Son then?
It's not different for Son. It's no.
He's
it's
an
not
adult,
different
isn't it?
But he's still, for me, he's still kind of Tottenham through and through at the moment because
until he gets offered that new job.
But you're taking a question. If somebody says, "I'm going to offer you 50 million more to go," so there's nobody in their right mind. Forget Sonny. You, me, anybody will go. That's not the question. You
so why do you think Sonny's different?
Sorry.
Why do you think Sonny is different to anybody else on the planet then? Because
I didn't say he's different to everybody. I think compared to Kane, I think as a human being, I think he loves Spurs. He's just Spurs through and through at the moment. But if you had to offer him, if he's only 25 million and you had to offer him 50 million, would his head be turned? Of course it would be turned. And his head would be turned. I'm not saying he wouldn't jump, but I don't think he would be going for the love of the club that he's going to. It will be more for the money. But if Spurs offered him 50 million and Man City and Barcelona offered him 50 million, do you think he would go to Barcelona now? Or do you think he would try and stay at Spurs?
Who signed? Yeah. I get what you're saying.
It's like your job. It's like your job. It's like your job. You earning 100 grand, you love it, and another your rival company says, "Do you know what? We want to steal you. We'll offer you 100 grand." Where do you stay? Why does it always have to be more for people to go?
No, because it depends. Because like if I was to go to another company and they were going to offer me the same money, but then it gets to the point and they say, right, after 2 years, you're going to earn this money. If you do this, you get this bonus. If you get to this stage, you get a promotion. Of course I'd leave because there's no ambition where I'm at the minute. So if I relate it to, let's say the job I've got now, if I say there's no ambition where I'm at, but I'm comfortable with the money, but I could jump ship for somebody that's offering me the same money with ambition, I'm going to jump ship straight away because there's something to look forward to. So it's like, I'm not saying that.
But do you think Harry Kane would have gone to Man City for the same money to win those
without
trophies?
fail, if Daniel Levy let him go, he'd definitely go for the same money.
For the same money that he's on at Spurs, 200,000.
Of course he would. Why wouldn't you?
No chance. No
No,
chance.
mate, he definitely would have. Definitely.
No chance.
So
chance.
Harry Kane has stated that he wants to win trophies. So,
but he wouldn't go for 200,000. I'm sorry.
But then why would he stay at Tottenham for the same money?
That we deluded.
Let me say one thing to you then, Mark. Yeah. So you're saying that he wouldn't go to Man City for 200 million? Yeah.
No, not 200 million.
For the same wages. So he wouldn't go to Man City for the same wages.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, why would he stay at Tottenham for the same wages? Because he's not going to win anything with us, but he's definitely going to win something there. So there's a positive. Forget the money. You're still going to get trophies.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't go to Man City on the same wages. The only way he would go is more wages. Otherwise, he would stay at Tottenham.
I disagree with that too. I think if Harry Kane, if the offer came through and Daniel Levy said, like, we've got receive 150 million, Kane, we're going to let you go, and Man City said, we're going to offer you the same as what you're on with Spurs and all that, I think he would go to Man City because of the trophies. I think he would. Like, there's a possibility of winning trophies. I think he would take the same money. Now, don't get me wrong. Man City would go, okay, you're on 200 grand at Spurs. We'll give you 300 grand. Man City would do that. But if they, in the chance that they did, and they went, we'll offer you the same as what you're on there, I think Harry Kane would still go because of the trophies, because he wants to win stuff. I honestly believe that.
Okay, I don't see him going. If you offer him the same money, I don't see him going. You know, they were banding about 420,000 for him to go to Man City. That's what his contract was offered. That's double what he's earning.
That's what they were offering. But we're saying theoretically, if he it's a hypothetical. If they had to offer the same amount, would he go? And I think he would because of the trophy situation. Because it's what he says he wants to do: win trophies.
Yeah. He's got enough money in the bank. He's got enough. How much money is he? He's probably a multi-millionaire. So if you said to Harry Kane, you're going to continue getting the money that you're getting from Tottenham. However, we're going to give you a Premier League. We're going to give you a Champions League. We're going to give you 3 or 4 League Cups. The thing is, though, if Tottenham could guarantee that, he wouldn't even ask for any more money, and he'd rather do that at Tottenham's. But if Tottenham aren't guaranteeing that, then of course he's going to go to a Man City or a Man United and do the same thing.
Gem.
I just in CFC and thought, no, he's.
Where's Martin when you need him? Where's Martin? It's all right. It's an in-joke. It's fun. Sorry.
The thing is, though, because we've got Mark, who's so positive, I'm going to agree with that.
Right.
You know, in 12 months or less than 12 months, in 9 months, how funny would that be that he does win it?
Mate, if he Mark, I'll give you £100 if he does.
Again, I'll shave my hair.
You'd be happy with it if we won the league because he's not going to get that award, and not. I mean, you got to win a league to get that award, effectively.
Right. This is my job as a host. I like to just throw that dynamite in there and just watch it all explode. So the last question before we go.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're the Tottenham chairman. You've got one of those 2 players to sell. You have to sell one of Kane or Son. You have to sell one of Kane or Son. Now, while you lot think about it, see, it is simple for me. I would sell Harry Kane before Son. 1, you get more money for the sale of Harry Kane, and 2, the income the club make off Son alone through his shirt sales and all the fandom he's got in South Korea and everything that get there. You look at all the fans that we have in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, his South Korean following. Through Son, we make more money through her. In my opinion, obviously, I don't know the facts, but we will make more money through Son as a footballer for Tottenham than we would Kane. So I would personally sell Kane. So Alan, tell me who you're going for.
Are you coming to me first? That's a bit out of order, isn't it?
Yes.
Bloody hell. Okay.
He's about to text you, wasn't he? Just go, make sure I'm last.
Make sure I'm last. So I would say, why come to me first?
This is why I've come to you, Alan. This is why I see you.
Okay. 1 second. I would sell. I would sell Son, and there's a reason behind it. So Kane makes Son better. Son doesn't necessarily make Kane better. Son's just better like for the person he is. So Son is quite, Kane improves Son, helps him in the system and everything like that. I think if you take Kane away from Son, doesn't have the same, and we've seen it when Kane is dropping deep or Kane's, injured. Son, if he's put in a number 9 position, doesn't play that well. When he plays on the wing, he's a lot better. I just think Kane improves Son. Son is good by himself. Son doesn't improve Kane.
Yeah,
so
does Son not improve Kane a slight? But Kane's assist numbers wouldn't have been that if Son didn't finish what he put in for him.
But Kane has the ball to do that. So I think if you put somebody else like of Son's quality or close to Son's quality in that same position, Kane could do that, for that other person as well. But I think if you I don't think you could put somebody else in to be able to, because they've got that great chemistry. So, and I think Kane helps assist Son more than the other way. So that's the only reason I would say Son. The way you were saying it as well, I completely agree with that. I could see it the other way, but that's why it took me a long time to think about it, because it's so close.
I had my Daniel Levy head on, thinking of money coming into the club rather than going out.
We all know Daniel Levy's about money. We all know that.
Exactly. So he would personally. But
he would, yeah.
Yeah. Jacob, what about you? Have you thought about it? Who are you selling?
If you ask me the question right now, because of what's gone on in the past, Harry Kane, because Harry Kane realistically doesn't want to be there. Son didn't have to sign that new deal, and it's mad because the quality of Son, I'm surprised that a lot of clubs didn't come in for him. There's, my cousin supports Liverpool, and he was always said, if there was one player that I'll take from Tottenham, it's Son. And, Harry Kane's been available, and he knows his football just like I do, and he's always said Son. If I was a Liverpool fan, United fan, as much as I get why Kane is like a rare commodity. It's like he guarantees you 25 goals with or without injury. But because Son signed the deal just like that, when he could have easily played this year and seen what was available, a lot of clubs would have come in if he smashed it this season. It's just, if you'd asked me this question before the Euros, I would have said Son, but right now, Harry Kane.
Very quickly, shout out to, I think it was Bob in the comments. He brought up a good point earlier on that the contract for Son was there for some time. It wasn't here's the contract I'll sign. Definitely, it was some time it was there for.
Yeah, that's true.
So shout out to I think it was Bob. I don't want to get his name wrong.
That's
he got up, yeah. So he got that right. The contract was there for some time. Yeah, there you go.
The Bob, the guy that you're talking about, that's actually my cousin.
Is it? It was a good point. A very good point. I didn't know that. Happy accident. There we go.
He knows his football, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right, Mark.
Does Bob know the reason why he took long, though? Did Sonny not come out and say why he took longer? He didn't want to be seen.
We all know that he just waited.
Hold on. He didn't want to be seen signing a multi-million-dollar or pound contract during a coronavirus pandemic. So that's why they sat on it. If you read the alley goals, if you read all that kind of thing, and that's how humble the guy is.
You're so positive, man.
Yeah.
No. But don't think that there was anything against it. There's no malice.
No. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And I like to think that you're right.
Was you
everybody's thinking there was a sinister thing why he sat on the contract.
Okay, so you're very positive. Was you as positive back when Sol Campbell was like that? I'm not going anywhere. Weak, and then decided to go Arsenal.
Wait. His name is banned.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, man.
But I'm using it as in the correct term that he was a scumbag who you can't take players or managers of what they say.
Oh dear, what a debate tonight, man. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It has been good.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Mark's answer. Son or Kane?
Oh, so Harry Kane or Human Song? I can only sell one.
Yeah.
I thought you already answered it for some reason.
Oh, that is a tough one. God, that's kind of a flip of a coin for me.
I'd rather sell my body.
I look, Ryan. You make the valid point. At this point in time, where we are as a club, we sell Harry Kane, we get the most money. Sonny, he can go on a roll and a run, and he can, I think he's a great player. That money, if we invest properly, next year or in 2 years' time, we don't get that same amount of money for Harry Kane. So you make a good point there. However, take him out of the team. How many goals do we lose this season and next season? You're in a catch-22. I don't think there's a right answer for this. But if you put me on the spot, I'm going to go what you said. I'll go sell Harry Kane only because it gives me 175, 200 million, and I can go out and hopefully buy a few players that we can build up and maybe become the next Harry Kane. But that's the only reason. No, nothing more, nothing less. But yeah.
So in regards to that, I understand what you're saying about getting the most money, but we know in terms of Spurs, we don't always spend correctly and buy the right players at the time. And also, you take Harry Kane out at the moment because we haven't got that person in to take over from Eriksen. You've got 2 jobs to fill, whereas Son, you probably have 1 job. It's not as dynamic, but I think you guys are looking at it for a future rebuild. I'm looking for it as now it will affect the team now. So I think that's where we're looking at different points of view. But I can understand why you would sell Harry Kane for the money. It's
another situation. You're both right.
Yeah, exactly. It's different points of view, but I can understand why you would go the other way.
But I'd rather not sell any of them, Ryan, if I'm honest.
I'm with you, Mark. I'm
100%. Best case scenario, we get back to Champions League football this season. We win a trophy and Harry Kane stays, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to go to Man City for about 80 million next season. I really think that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a massive chance. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you for this hour and 25 minutes of your Friday night. Jacob, do you want to let everyone know where they can get you?
Like I said in previous shows, I'm looking to get my stuff going. So this last week, I haven't really done anything because I've had to look after the kids on the last week of their school holidays. So next week, I'm going to push it forward. If you look at the links that are above my face, they're going to be my Insta pages, but they're also going to be my Twitter pages as well. So I'm going to get those names and reflect them on Twitter. So as of next week, when if Ryan lets me back on the show, that's where you'll find me.
Yeah, Alan, we'll just ignore that. we won't get back onto that. But thank you all for your comments tonight. It has been great. But Alan, do you want to let us know where we can get you?
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter. There's the handle there. Alan 3. People can find me occasionally on the terrace, giving my opinions, everything Spurs. Also on Egal TV. It's a prediction show for the Premier League fixtures. It's for the top 6, so it's a Premier League prediction show. Even if he is a very biased Arsenal fan and sometimes deluded, it's fine. We like Egal. He's all right.
Yeah, we do like Egal. I'll say majority of the time deluded, but he's a nice one. Mark, how about you? Where we can find you?
Find me on Twitter. Just talking about Spurs amongst a lot of people. Hit me up there. Come and interact and. It's mostly about Spurs and on the first 11. Every week. Yeah, every week where we discuss, have fun, and debate. It's great that we don't all agree. Otherwise, it would be boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. But this panel that I've got now is my obviously full-time panel. Obviously, whenever they can make it. Obviously, Alan couldn't make it last week, but we'll let him off for that. He's come back on fire this week, so he's back to his very best now. The football season's back on. Yeah. There will be other guests coming on as well at the same time as the 4 of us. But thank you all for watching, all the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You get Grinded Tottenham, which is the most important show on the first 11. You've got the EFL show, all the other Grinded Uniteds, Liverpool's, Fraud Watch. It's the best channel on YouTube you can subscribe to, so don't forget. Gentlemen, I'll see you next week.
See you later, guys.